Today's session, we are going to discuss Class 12 Accountancy, Unit 1, Accounts from Incomplete Records. It is also called Single Entry System of Bookkeeping. The name of the system itself shows that the double aspects of business transactions are not recorded. Double aspects means debit aspect and credit aspect. Maintenance of accounting records as per double entry system is compulsory for certain organization. According to Indian Companies Act 2013, in India, companies must maintain accounting records under double entry system. Accounting records may be maintained as per the requirements and desires of the proprietors and accountants. Meaning of incomplete records. The accounting records are not prepared under double entry system. These records are called incomplete records. Generally, cash account and the personal account of customers and creditors are maintained fully, and other accounts are maintained based on necessity. Under this system, some transactions are recorded fully. For example, cash paid to creditors. Here, both debit and credit aspects are recorded. Point number 2, some transactions are partially recorded. For example, expenses paid. Expenses may be in the name of salaries paid, wages paid. What will be the journal? Salaries account debtor to cash account. In this transaction, cash account alone entered. Third one, some transactions are not recorded at all. For example, depreciation on fixed asset. Here, both debit and credit aspects are not entered. So, it is called incomplete records. Features of incomplete records. Point number 1, nature. It is an incomplete, inaccurate, unscientific and unsystematic system of bookkeeping. Accounting principles and accounting standards are not followed properly. Point number 2, type of accounts maintained. Under incomplete records, only cash and personal accounts are maintained fully. Real and nominal accounts are not maintained properly. Point number 3, lack of uniformity. Different organizations record their transactions according to their needs and conveniences. So there is no uniformity among different organizations in recording the transactions. Fourth point, financial statements may not represent true and fair view. Due to incomplete and inaccurate records of accounts, it may not represent true profitability. Assets and liabilities may not represent a true and fair view of financial position. Point number 5, suitability. It is suitable only for sole traders and partnership firms. Companies cannot keep books on single entry system because of legal provisions. Point number 6, mixing up personal and business transactions. Personal transactions of the owners are mixed up with the business transactions. Limitations of incomplete records. Point number 1, lack of proper maintenance of records. Under this system, real and nominal accounts are not maintained properly. So it is an unscientific and unsystematic way of maintaining records. Point number 2, difficulty in preparing trial balance. It is difficult to prepare trial balance to check arithmetical accuracy of the accounts because accounting records are incomplete. Point number 3, difficulty in ascertaining true profitability of the business. To find out true profit, trading and profit and loss account should be prepared. So the trading and profit and loss account cannot be prepared with accuracy. Point number 4, difficulty in ascertaining financial position. It is difficult to ascertain true and fair view of statement of affairs or financial position as on a particular date. Only the estimated values of assets and liabilities are available from incomplete records. Not accurate value, only estimated value of assets and liabilities are recorded. Point number 5, errors and frauds cannot be deducted easily. Only partial records are available. So it may not be possible to find out, to locate the errors and frauds. Point number 7, unacceptable to government and other authorities. Tax authorities like income tax, sales tax do not accept accounts prepared according to single entry system for computation of taxes. Accounts maintained are incomplete, so these may not comply with the legal requirements. Next topic is differences between double entry system and incomplete records. Basis of distinction. First one, recording of transactions. Under double entry system, all the transactions are recorded, both debit and credit aspects. Every debit, there is a corresponding credit and vice versa. Whereas under incomplete records, all the transactions are not recorded completely. Debit and credit do not agree. Second point, types of accounts maintained under double entry system. Personal, real and nominal accounts are maintained fully. Whereas under single entry system, incomplete records, only cash and personal accounts are maintained. Real and nominal accounts are not maintained fully. Point number 3, preparation of trial balance. Trial balance can be prepared. Under incomplete records, trial balance cannot be prepared with accuracy. Point number 4, determination of true profit or loss. While preparing final accounts, it consists 3 steps: trading and profit and loss account. So while preparing trading and profit and loss account can be prepared to find out true profit or loss. Whereas under incomplete records, trading and profit and loss account cannot be prepared with accuracy. Point number 5, determination of financial position. We can able to know business financial position while preparing balance sheet. So balance sheet can be prepared to know the true financial position. Under incomplete records, balance sheet cannot be prepared with accuracy. Point number 6, suitability. It is suitable for all types of organization. Whereas incomplete records are suitable only for small size sole traders and partnership firms. 7th one, reliability. It is a reliable statement because it is a scientific system of accounting, and also it is based on certain accounting principles. Under incomplete records, it is not reliable statement since it is unscientific. Last point, acceptability. If accounting records are using double entry system, it is acceptable by tax authorities. Under incomplete records, it is not acceptable by tax authorities. Methods of ascertaining profit or loss. When accounts are kept under single entry system or incomplete records, the following methods are used to find out profit or loss of the business. There are two methods to find out profit or loss of the business. First method, statement of affairs method. It is also known as net worth method or capital comparison method. Second one, conversion method. We are going to do sums from these two methods. Calculation of profit or loss through statement of affairs. How to find out profit or loss of the business? The difference between the closing capital and the opening capital is taken as profit or loss of the business. If there is no adjustment, we have to compare these two capital, opening capital and closing capital. Is there any adjustment? Adjustment in the sense, if the proprietor withdrawn money from the business for his personal use, that amount is called drawings. Suppose if he has introduced any money in the business, that amount is called additional capital. These two adjustments are there. These two adjustments are to be made for withdrawal and introducing additional capital. So how to find out profit of the business? Use the formula closing capital, add drawings, less additional capital. The amount which we are getting is called adjusted closing capital. Then less opening capital. Suppose if adjusted closing capital is more than the opening capital, it denotes profit. If adjusted closing capital is lesser than the opening capital, it denotes loss. This formula will be used to find out profit or loss of the business. What are the steps to be followed to find out profit or loss by preparing statement of affairs? Step 1. Ascertain the opening capital by preparing a statement of affairs at the beginning of the year. By taking opening balances of assets and liabilities. Year beginning, the value of assets and liabilities will be segregated. The differences between assets and liability is called opening capital. Step 2. Ascertaining the closing capital by preparing statement of affairs at the end of the accounting period. After making all adjustments. Adjustments may be in the name of depreciation, bad debts, outstanding and prepaid expenses, outstanding income, interest on capital and interest on drawings. Third one, add the amount of drawings to the closing capital. Point number 4, deduct the amount of additional capital introduced. So we will get adjusted closing capital. Step 5. Ascertain profit or loss by subtracting opening capital from the adjusted closing capital. The following formula is used to find out profit or loss. While preparing statement of profit or loss, we are going to use single side of our accountancy notebook. So center of the page, single side, at the top write the heading, statement of profit or loss of Mr. If name is given, proprietor name is given, mention the name. For the year ended, maybe 31st December or 31st March particular year. Next step, particulars. Second amount column will be used for doing calculation. So look at the first one, capital at the year end. That means closing capital. Then add drawings during the year. Third step, less additional capital introduced during the year. The amount which we are getting is called adjusted closing capital. Then less opening capital. Compare these two amount, last two steps amount. If adjusted closing capital is more than the opening capital, it means profit. Suppose if adjusted closing capital is lesser than the opening capital, it means loss. Look at page number 31, exercise sum number 1. From the following particulars, ascertain profit or loss. Details are given. Capital at the beginning of the year. So inside the bracket, 1st April. With the help of date, we could identify whether it is a opening capital or closing capital. In this statement, they have clearly given capital at the beginning and also date also mentioned. 5 lakhs. Capital at the end of the year, 31st March, that denotes closing capital 8,50,000. Additional capital introduced during the year 1,20,000. Drawings during the year 70,000. Let me see how to do the answer for this sum. Single side of our accountancy notebook, center of the page, you write the heading. Statement of profit or loss for the year ended 31st March 2019. Particulars. In our accountancy notebook, 2 amount columns are there. We have to use the second amount column. Use the formula. First one, closing capital 8,50,000. Step 2, add drawings 70,000. 9,20,000, add these two amount. Then less additional capital introduced during the year 1,20,000. If you are deducting 8 lakhs, that amount denotes adjusted closing capital. Next step, less opening capital 5 lakhs. So 8 lakhs minus 5 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Adjusted closing capital is more than the opening capital. So it denotes profit for the year. Clear? Now I have used accountancy notebook. How you have to write it in your accountancy notebook? Follow this way. Move on to sum number 2. Page number 32. From the following particulars, ascertain profit or loss. Capital as on 1st January 2018. It denotes opening capital 2,20,000. Capital as on 31st December 2018. This amount denotes closing capital 1,80,000. Additional capital introduced during the year 40,000. Drawings made during the year 50,000. Now center of our accountancy notebook, single side. Statement of profit or loss for the year ended 31st December 2018. Particulars, amount column. Use the formula, closing capital 1,80,000. Add drawings during the year 50,000. we are adding these two amount 2,30,000 less additional capital introduced during the year 40,000. Deduct these two amount, we got 1,90,000 as adjusted closing capital. Next step, less opening capital. Opening capital 2,20,000. Now look at, compare these two amount. Adjusted closing capital is less than the opening capital. So this amount denotes loss. Loss for the year 30,000. Now look at this slide. I have used our accountancy notebook. I have done this sum. Copy this in your classwork notebook. We will continue the next sum in next session. Okay, thank you.